Today, you're going to train your brain to think in English through listening. Have you ever felt like you know the rules of English, but something gets lost on the way to understanding the real meaning behind the conversation? That's exactly what we're going to practice. You're listening. By filling in the missing words, you won't just be memorizing vocabulary, you'll be figuring out the emotions within the story. Here's what really separates the people who learn from the ones who just try: daily practice. Is it hard? Yes. Giving up is right there, and it's easier. Start slow. Repeat the first minute as many times as you need, then move on to the second minute, and so on. Practice, practice, practice. That's the way. Let us know in the comments how many words you were able to figure out without an automatic translator. Now, listen to the story.
Okay, I've removed some words from the subtitles. Listen and try to fill in the blanks. Can you guess them?
Hey, let me ask you something. Do you have a dream, like a real one? Maybe you want to travel. Maybe you want a new phone, a car, or just peace of mind, right? Well, here's the thing. Money starts with a dream. Before you think about numbers, budgets, or apps, you need to ask yourself, why do I want to save money? Because let's be honest, saving is hard. Saying no to things is hard. But if you have a dream, like a big goal, suddenly it's easier to say, not now, so you can say yes later. Let's say your dream is to travel. You want to go to Paris, New York, or Tokyo. You imagine the food, the views, the freedom, yeah? Now think, every coffee you don't buy, every Uber you skip brings you closer to that dream. And guess what? You're not just learning how to save, you're learning English too. Look, dream, save, want, goal, travel, buy, plan. These are all words you'll use in your real life. So, yeah, money is not just about cash. It's about building the life you want. Cool? Let's go to the next part, how to build a budget without the boring stuff. Okay, so now you have a dream. But how do you actually make a plan to get there? Well, the answer is a budget. But not the scary kind with spreadsheets and 10,000 numbers. No, I'm talking about a simple plan. One that actually works. One you'll use. So here's how it goes. First, write down how much money you make every month. Your salary, gigs, side jobs, everything. Now, list your expenses. Rent, food, transport, Netflix, that Friday pizza, be honest. Next step, separate everything into 3 parts. Essentials, like rent and food. Wants, like coffee, clothes, subscriptions. Savings or dreams. This is for your goals. And here's the trick. Try the 50-30-20 rule. 50% for essentials, 30% for wants, 20% for savings. Is it perfect? No. But is it simple? Yes. And simple means you'll actually do it, isn't it? So imagine this. You earn $1,000 a month. You use $500 for rent and food, $300 for fun stuff, and $200? That goes to your dream trip, your course, your future. Boom! You're now a financial adult. And while you're doing that, guess what? You just learned money verbs in English. Earn, spend, save, plan, use. See? English and money. Together. Easy. Real life. Now, what if your money is not enough? So, here's the deal. Most people think they need to stop having fun to save money. But what if that's not true? Let's flip the script. Instead of cutting fun stuff first, like your coffee or that concert with your funds, start with the boring things. Bills, subscriptions, contracts, stuff you barely notice but suck your money every month. Seriously, when was the last time you checked your phone plan? Or compared your internet provider? You might be overpaying big time. Now, here's a fun challenge. Look at your fixed costs and ask, do I really need this? Is there a cheaper way? Because if you can save $50 a month just by switching to a better phone plan, that's $600 a year back in your pocket. And then, guess what? You can use that money to boost the fun stuff, like saving for a trip, buying a course, or just going out without guilt. Here's the mindset. Don't cut joy, cut what drains you silently. Also, let's sneak in some English here. Cancel, change, compare, reduce, increase, balance. You're not just organizing your money, you're upgrading your English vocabulary too. Pretty cool, right? Okay, now let's talk safety, because before you build a castle, you need a moat. Let's dive into the emergency fund. All right, here's the thing. Life doesn't send a warning before it throws something at you. A broken phone, a medical bill, or losing your job. That's why you need an emergency fund. Think of it like your financial shield. Not super exciting maybe, but absolutely essential. Let's break it down. Your goal? Save enough to cover 3 to 6 months of your basic living costs. Rent, food, transport, bills, the must-haves. Now, you might be thinking, hold on, that sounds like a lot.
Totally fair. But here's the trick. Start small. Even $10 or $20 a week makes a difference. Seriously, it builds up quicker than you'd expect. And where should you keep it? Not in your wallet, not under your mattress, but in a separate savings account. Easy to access in emergencies, but not too easy, so you're not tempted to touch it for a random online sale. You're building peace of mind, because when life gets messy, the last thing you want is to panic over money. Also, a bonus. In English, we say things like rainy day fund, cushion, or backup plan. All these are ways to describe your emergency money. Keep those terms in mind. So yeah, not the most glamorous part of financial life, but definitely one of the smartest. Up next, let's talk future. Let's talk retirement. Okay, let's be honest. When you're in your 20s or 30s, retirement feels like it's a million years away. You're probably thinking, do I really need to think about this now? Well, yeah, you do. Because here's the deal. The earlier you start, the easier it gets. Even small amounts invested now can grow into something big later, thanks to the magic of compound interest. It's like planting a tiny seed today and waking up years later to a full-grown money tree. Now, in English, we often talk about having a nest egg. That's your money saved for the future, for when you're done working or just want the freedom to choose what to do with your time. So, where do you start? First, figure out how much you can save each month, even if it's just a little. Second, look into options like retirement accounts or investment funds. You can say something like, I'm putting money into my retirement plan. Sounds adult, right? And if all this feels kind of overwhelming, don't stress. It's normal, really. Just take one step at a time. Because future you, yeah, they'll be so grateful you started early. So now that we've covered the basics, what do you do next? So here we are. We've talked about dreams, budgets, emergency funds, cutting expenses, and even retirement. And maybe you're sitting there thinking, all right, but where do I actually start? Well, just start. Seriously, don't wait for the perfect moment or until you feel 100% ready.
That moment might never come. And hey, making mistakes along the way? Totally normal. We all do it. The key is to take that first small step. Maybe today you sit down and write out your goals, like I want to travel, or I want to stop living paycheck to paycheck. Maybe tomorrow you open a simple spreadsheet to see where your money's actually going. Or you create a savings jar. Yeah, even something that small can make a difference. Just don't overthink it. Keep it simple, keep it real. And one last thing, learning English and learning to manage money, they actually go really well together. When you understand basic finance vocabulary, it gives you confidence, not just with money, but with speaking too. So take action today, even if it's tiny. Write a word, save a coin, ask a question, learn a phrase. Because this is how your new life begins. Cool? You've got this. Let's go.
Now that you've practiced your English listening, I've prepared a playlist with some videos to speed up your learning. Take a look at it. I'll leave the link in the first pinned comment. And check out this other video here.